So this is a pivotal moment in the history of man, the future of Europe, and in the 21st century, we're having the same discussions that we did in the last century. Have we learned nothing from the last century? What should we have learned? That when it comes to bullies and crazy people who want to, put the world under the thumb like Hitler, we should believe what they say. We should stand up to them sooner rather than later.
Well, there it is. Knew this day was coming. The death of irony. Just so we're clear, this is Lindsey Graham, who has staked his reputation on his allegiance to Donald Trump, warning about the dangers of not standing up to bullies and crazy people. I know that we joke about the obliviousness of these Republican politicians when it comes to their blind fealty to Trump, but my God, it really is something to behold. And by the way, the first person who should recognize this is Lindsey Graham. This is the same guy who took to Twitter way back in 2016 and said, if we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed, and we will deserve it. Since that tweet, the Republicans did nominate Trump, and guess what followed? Republicans lost the House, lost the Senate, lost the presidency. They have the blood of January 6th on their hands, they've become a joke in the international community, and they fostered a party whose only philosophy is to refuse to accept the results of elections that they lose. And even now, just a few weeks out from midterms, in an election that history says should be a gimme for Republicans, their candidates are such jokes, considering the only qualification was total fealty to Donald Trump, that now the Republicans are actually playing defense. If you're looking for the reason, well, Lindsey Graham already told us the reason years ago. If we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed and will deserve it. The fact is that the reason Trump gained popularity is for the exact reason Lindsey Graham was saying, because demagoguery works. It's always worked. It worked in 1930s Germany, it's worked with Duterte and Erdogan and Putin and MBS. Nationalism is nothing new. Vilifying immigrants is nothing new. Preying on people's fears is nothing new. And it's a strategy that the Republican Party employs more predictably than the sun rising in the morning when it comes to election time. In fact, it's almost become a joke in these videos that I refer to migrant caravans as soon as October hits. And lo and behold, here's what conservative media is talking about today, right now. The GOP's only strategy is to pivot to scaring an old white base about a bunch of brown people coming to replace them, or sell drugs to their kids, or rape their wives. Just today, Marsha Blackburn tweeted, "Nancy Pelosi wants illegal immigrants to be picking crops. Retweet if you want Pelosi gone." And clearly this is part of the whole xenophobic October strategy, but you'd think that maybe she'd be able to donate a single brain cell to what would happen if migrants, documented or undocumented, stopped picking our crops. I would presume that Marsha Blackburn and other Republicans enjoy food, and so maybe, just maybe, if they'd like to keep enjoying food, banning the migrants putting food on our tables might not be the bang-up idea that it sounded like in her head. But it's not just demagoguery that Republicans rely on. It's because without scaring the shit out of people, what else do they have left? Their agenda? Their platform is tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires. It's pretending climate change doesn't exist. It's coddling fossil fuel and dirty energy. It's banning abortion nationwide. It's punishing doctors. It's eliminating Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. It's vilifying LGBT children. It's refusing to accept any election results where they don't win. And so obviously they have to pivot to fear-mongering, because which of those things are they actually going to run on? Compare that with the Democrats, and it's clear why Republicans are pushing so hard to reclaim the narrative. Democrats are running on protecting reproductive rights, protecting your right to choose what you do with your own body, expanding the right to vote, combating climate change, making the rich pay their fair share, clamping down on tax cheats, stopping the proliferation of military-grade weaponry on our streets, and stopping mass shootings, making sure healthcare is affordable and accessible to every single person in this country. They've already accomplished a ton with the thinnest of margins, and there's so much more to do in terms of enacting an agenda that is wholly popular with Americans. And Republicans know how popular it is, which is why they're going full tilt on fear porn to retake the narrative. The problem is that it's as ineffective as it is predictable. Americans aren't dumb. They recognize that it's the same tired story from the right every time an election rolls around, and they know that it's all a diversion for a Republican Party whose sole priority is entrenching power for themselves. Government should work for us, not the people elected to run it, and we all have a chance to prove that to the GOP just a few weeks from today. Before you go, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can click the thumbnail right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work even further, the best way is to subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. There you can check out my interviews with major players in the world of politics, including President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Katie Porter, Jamie Raskin, and so many more. Plus other interviews that live exclusively on the podcast. That link is also right here on this screen, or just search No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen wherever you listen to podcasts.